quorum, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order.
I don't see what happens.
Okay, I've got to kind of go out and come back.
Okay.
All right, I'll be looking for you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Go along with yourself.
I can't do launch. You are not the launcher.
So we have you, you can hear us. Greg Barlow, we can hear you. Everything looks good. What is the matter on your side that you have
Like
to come out?
visual.
I can't see anything.
I just have a thing that says.
It's got a little tiny thing in the corner that says City of Norwich. And that's
Okay.
it. I'm trying to get the whole thing.
All right, well, it's a
City of-
very wide
Exit
picture.
minimalized. There you go.
Okay, we're back.
I'm not sure if you need to see anything. Do you have the COAs with you, Greg F?
All set. Everybody's happy.
All right,
I know, I'm gonna have to listen to it.
jump out of 319.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
We weren't sure, so we just, no, that was, it's not our regular time. No. All right, I'm calling the special meeting of the HCC to order. It is 6:03. Good evening and welcome everyone to the Historic District Commission. I'm Tim Down, I'm the chairman, and please note this meeting is being recorded. If you're not speaking, please have yourself on mute to prevent any background noise. Don't know if that's going to be a problem tonight, but hopefully not here. But our meeting tonight is going to be broken up into two sections: a public hearing and the regular meeting. The public hearing is an opportunity for the applicants to present their application and for the commission members to ask any questions. Once the public hearing closes and the regular meeting, or in this case, the special meeting begins, this regular part of the meeting is where the commission discusses and votes on those applications. Applicants can stay and listen to the regular meeting, but the applicants are not permitted to speak or provide any more information regarding their application at this time. So it's not required that applicants stay during the regular meeting, but post-meeting by tomorrow, I will have the results of our actions and will contact all of the applicants in City Hall with our results tomorrow. So all applicants will receive that notice the next business day. Thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none. I also have the discretion to take these COAs in any order in case anyone has any pressing needs. So does anyone have any needs to have their COA heard first? Hearing none, we're just going to go in order then. And in this case, looking, I don't see anyone else in the admission room here. So the first COA is COA 550. This is 380 Washington Street, Tyler Booth. This is for the for those familiar. This is the bed and breakfast house that we just last month had done the roof with. And what they're looking for this time is, as they were doing that roof, they noticed some damage on a couple of window trim and frame, but not the window itself. And so they were looking to get some of that trim redone. I see no one online for this, so we're going to have to address this based on the COA as it is written. So that will be their presentation. Has anyone had a chance to, does everyone have the COA available to them? I see nods, yes. Again, I did the due diligence on this. We've had submissions from them before, and they've always had very clear pictures and description of what they're doing. So giving one last chance, since there is no one here to do the presentation, I will put this aside for the regular meeting and we move to COA 551. This is 17 Huntington Lane. Megan Campbell proposing privacy fence. And so, Megan, I will open the floor to you.
Sure, everyone can hear me, right?
Yes. Come.
Okay. Hi, everyone. We are just doing a privacy fence. It's pretty straightforward. It obviously has to be wood, so it's a custom built cedar fence. You guys have all the images of what it looks like. It's very traditional looking. I think it'll look good for the area. And that's it. We don't know if we're leaving it to fade naturally, or if we're going to paint it, but either way, we have to wait a year anyways. They recommend waiting a year before you make a decision about painting it, I guess for it to weather in place first. And that's it. I mean, if everybody has any questions, if there's something that's not self-explanatory on the sketches, I can answer that. But it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Questions from the commission members? All right, I did have a question. So the first picture or the first diagram shows the house. It shows the pool behind this house and the stone wall, but I'm not quite sure. It's showing is it the 40 feet that's connecting the house over to the stone wall on the side? I'm not quite sure where the actual fence is going to be going.
The fence goes along the front side of the house, and it goes on the left side of the house. It goes from the house to the stone wall, and then on the right side of the house, it goes between the house and that little house that we have. Yeah. And then to close off the yard, so my dog can run around happily, there's a small piece on the other side of the little house that you really can't see, but that's also just a panel going in to match.
So I wasn't sure if that was just a measurement there, how far it was. So that's where the fence is, the 40 foot, the left of the house, the 4 foot with a gate,
Yep.
5 foot middle, and then the L-shaped connector on the other side of the shed.
Yes.
Excellent. Yep. Again, fence is the scallop. It's going to be the scallop. So there's 3 pictures of the fence. One of them shows a long one with this.
Yeah.
The-
So I'm sorry. Yeah, just
Yeah.
the gate is scalloped. The rest will have the straight. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. The rest of it will be straight, but we're going to scallop the gate.
Okay. So the fence itself, where it's up top, is going to be 73 inches tall, 6 foot. Whatever. All right. And they were saying you can't paint it. It's wood. Is it pressure treated wood? Is it?
It's cedar. So yeah, cedar automatically is I mean, for the price, when you do certain types of cedar, it's what do you call it? It doesn't need to be pressure treated. It's cedar is like a really good natural wood to use. And then, but they recommend letting it sit where it is and weather in place for at least a year before you paint it. I mean, cedar, when it does fade, is also beautiful. It has that really sort of driftwood grayish tone to it. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know, visually, I don't know which one will like either way, it's going to take a year. So either it'll stay this sort of natural finished look, or it'll be the same color as the house, which is the white.
Know that there's a mixture anyway in the neighbor of whether painted or natural. So
Say that again.
there is a mixture in the neighborhood of painted fences and natural.
And natural. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a similar question to Tim's, Megan. I wasn't clear from the picture where the fence was, but see, it says 63 feet of fence, but it doesn't add up to that. Is that?
It's total about 63 feet total. Yeah, it's on the left side of the house is pretty big. It's about 30 something feet, 40 feet maybe. I don't have the thing in front of me. And then on the right side between the little house and the big house, is, I took these measurements, you think I'd remember. It's 30, I forget off the top of my head, but it's a total of 63 feet between all three pieces.
But not counting the 5. It's 1, 2, well, the 3 areas is 63 feet.
Total,
So-
yep.
I see 13, 4, 53, 6, I see 62. Counting the gate.
Okay,
Greg, you seeing that?
Actually, I was counting 56 feet of feet and a 5-foot gate, but that's, yeah.
yeah, right. There you go.
And this has nothing to do with the safety of pool or anything like that. I know that you had a different safety system put in there, so this is not any regulation for that.
No,
Safe.
it's not a regulation for that, although I do feel like it's an extra added bit of security, but no, we have a switch, basically. It looks like a light switch on the outside of our house that requires a special key to open to get to. And then you hold it and it opens and closes the top of the pool. So like right now, the pool's covered, it's been covered. And we can open it whenever we want to use it. So that's the real security. But the privacy fence, I guess it's an extra added security. Make sure it keeps the animals out. Many little kids seeing it from the road for some reason. Yeah, but mostly just for privacy and for my dog.
Last questions? Regan, you still with us? I know sometimes phone services, back roads are not good. All right. Hearing none, I will move now then to COA 552. This is 10 Elm Street. Joanne Filbert is here. This is for alterations and replacement of partial roof here, replacement. So Joanne, I'll open the floor to you.
Okay, first of all, this has been a rather interesting experience. I'll leave it at that. But let me say that unless I wasn't an avid follower of the Norwich website, I would have no idea that this meeting was being held tonight. I was not notified, my contractor was not notified, no one was notified.
I will double check on that. We typically send out emails to the applicants.
Nope.
When this is
And I am very much a stickler. And I am not a happy camper.
all right. Well, I'm very sorry about that. And I will double check on this. So.
And it's not like I haven't been down to City Hall on several occasions to find out what the problem is. Corresponded with you. I asked you who the contact person was. You did not respond. It's very frustrating when you're trying to do the right thing. And I see all kinds of things going on in my neighborhood that I know are not permitted and not allowed in the Belleville Historic District Commission. And I'm a firm believer in rules. You follow the rule, and when the rule doesn't work, then you change them. But like I said, if I didn't read the city website, I would have had no idea that there was a meeting.
All right. Well, again, I apologize for that, and I'll double check and be a little bit more diligent on this. I know we did have some other communications. Didn't know that it was about the COA, and I know you had posed with one question whether, since it was like for like material, and is there a need for this? We have had this in the past where I think like for like. People, well, first off, our building department has been very diligent in when a permit comes in and they recognize that any of the houses are in the district, that they will contact us or wait for that and want a COA put in place. We have had this come up in the past, and again, it's like for like, but when we suddenly see the light that they envision, it's not always like for like. So if nothing else, for an administrative purposes of going through and having this formality of approving a COA is what we are kind of looking at today. But again, I apologize for any back and forth. I know at the original contact came to my personal email, and you were asking if this was the correct, this was a secure.
That's an email that I received from the city. That's what I got from the neighbors.
All right, so I will double check with the, not the building department, that was the.
Again, it's sort of a non-issue, but it sticks in my craw because I notice you don't have citizen comment on your agenda, but I have personally grave concerns about the trajectory of the area. Many vacant, abandoned, neglected residences and making me uncomfortable. So when people do the right thing, it makes me just feel. So let's just get back to my rule.
Well, no, I will address that one also, and whether we have a citizen comment or not. So obviously, we can't all be roaming around through the district to find out what's going on. We try to follow up on some of the COAs as we get presented, but we certainly recognize that some people don't realize, they try to do the work themselves, they don't even get the permit from the city, so we don't even get a warning or any alert from the city. So it would be on us to go around and find that. But if you do see things that are that don't follow or don't think it follow the guidelines or would meet this, again, I'm not sure how diligent you are in following any of this COAs and previous, if they've been approved or not, or if you see the work and you have a question, I would encourage, send an email to, not necessarily to my personal address, but I'll double check with, why they're giving out that one as opposed to the HDC at city.
And I think, to be perfectly honest, that a lot of people just are not, they don't follow the rules for whatever reason. It doesn't apply to them. And but my goal is to maintain the integrity of our beautiful, historic, well-maintained homes.
And that's appreciated. We do have, as there's turnover in the community, we do send out kind of like a welcome to the neighborhood, and oh, by the way, you are in a historic neighborhood and you do need these, and then here is the link to the guidelines that we use. So we do try to keep the residents informed, and especially the new residents, because I don't think the real estate agents always tell them exactly what's going on.
So to go back to my rule, the interesting story is that when I replaced this roof, when I bought the house in 2004, nobody ever made it get a permit. So whether these shingles are appropriate or not remains to be seen, but they are grandfathered, and I only need to replace the front. So I'm hoping that we can come to some sort of full agreement about.
There's a same shingles, same color, same everything. It's going to be used. We prepared the plywood with the underlayment.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem, because when it was done 20 years ago, they evidently did not nail the plywood into the rafters, and it's you can't stick a thumbtack in the styrofoam. Hope that it's gonna hold something up. So things are starting to buckle, and
are they replacing the plywood then? It's the
Yes.
whole front roof and the plywood. So
plywood shingles to be, and hopefully when he gets in there and takes it apart, it doesn't turn into some.
but nothing planned on any of the Well, we would likely have a drip edge, because that's
Yeah.
standard on something like that, but there's no gutter work or
No gutter,
soffit work
no.
or anything
No.
that's damaged.
Hopefully gonna be cut and dried in just a couple of days at most.
All right, I'll open I'm sorry.
No, thank you for letting me.
I'll open it up for questions from the commission.
And maybe there aren't any, but were there pictures with this one? All I see is the application.
No, this was Thor just provided the
And
application.
again, Thor, all he got from the building department was in sort of a snarky way. You have to go through the historic. They're not exactly always cooperative for
Right.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
So,
So no, Jake, it was just the description, but in there, the same shingles being used for that repair on the front side that already exists, so it's asphalt shingles.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone else? That's zooming in on me. I'm not sure if it's anyway. Someone's taking over the camera. All right. Hearing no other questions, I will put this to the side and we will move to COA. This is 553. This is Lillian Pereira, and I do not see anyone in the waiting room for this, but this is a pool deck added on to the existing pool. And she did have pictures and the description.
Hey, Tim, is there an actual application? All I have are the pictures.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't see a COA at all.
I've got to double check that. So I asked her to send one in here. It came in and I wanted to include this in our meeting, and I have not seen anything necessarily come through, but it was sent to the HDC. Pictures here were sent. This pool went through COA. It's probably a couple years ago. I think Scott was the chair at that time, and I think the biggest thing on that was to cover it up without fencing. They put in that, you'll see the arborvitae there. They put in the greens to keep that covered. And I think that shows up there. So, but you're right, there is not a physical COA form, not even our new form, which is linked to the site now. But she did send this in through the HDC email, and if worst case, I would just grab this in and split the actual form.
I feel like we shouldn't be considering it if we don't have a signed application form, Tim.
Well, and just to kind of counter that a little bit, if it's not visible from the street, there's really no COA needed.
No, there isn't. And that's the other thing where it gets into like for like, or is there a COA needed? If she tries to go down and get a permit from the city department, say you're in the historic district, I need something from the historic district to say, go forth or not. And in this case, it is an administrative thing here because it is not visible from any public view. So that's why I kind of wanted to include this. It may not be in our form that we sent out. I did not check the emails in the last couple of days, to be honest. So I did ask her for administrative purposes just to fill out a COA. She was on you'll recall, this is Lillian was on for 2 or 3 COAs last month for the
Yeah.
splits and the likes for the properties up along that way. But again, in my mind, it's an administrative thing because this is a hidden, it's not visible, and so I didn't think it would be a stretch to add this in to our thing here. Now, Greg, if you feel that Greg J, that we shouldn't do this, I can go back and I guess we can do it formally for this.
Well, if you agree with Jake that this is not, it doesn't need a COA, then she doesn't need to, I feel like you could just send her an email back saying that, and she could
But-
take it to the building department. There doesn't need to be a COA submitted.
Well, I guess that's our I guess that's our process. To go through this is that we, in the past, I think, had said, hey, for administrative purposes, that we had done something, not just an email from me, but something that had gone through, that we did administrative type of COA, I guess, for this. If the building department is going to do that, we can. Well, they're not here right now. Lillian's not here, so presentation is as written and presented here, but we discuss this for actions, I guess, so we can take that up and maybe discuss what we want to do in our process of if we were able to give the permission to the executive committee here or the commission to say, hey, we have kind of approved this city building department, and we don't need a COA. I know I got in a little bit of trouble trying to give preliminary approvals on stuff like this in the past, so that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to do anything like that. I personally would rather see an administrative COA, and then we can again prove that it is not visible or not. Again, I'm taking the word for it that it's not visible in this case. I know it isn't because I did a drive-by and stuff, so I know it's not visible. But in other cases where we get something, oh no, it's not visible, oh, it's like the like, whatever, at least we would have that administrative paperwork in place before to satisfy the building department, I guess.
Either way, Tim, we should probably go ahead and close the public comment and go into the meeting.
All right.
I would
So-
agree.
Obviously everyone has that and there's no one to ask questions to, so I will put that aside. And it is 6:30 and I will move from the public hearing into our special regular section of the meeting. First thing on that is action on COAs. And again, we have the ability to take these as we deem necessary. So for the sake of our guests here, we'll address those first. So I will entertain a motion on COA 551. This is 17 Huntington Place, Campbell residence, perimeter fence. Entertain a motion on that.
I move we accept the proposal, the COA as written.
I second.
Okay, Greg Johnson, motion, and Jake seconded. All right, discussion.
It's pretty straightforward. I think it's good materials. I think it's sounds fine.
All right, yeah, I agree. I won't hold Megan accountable for her math skills of adding up to 63. Again, it's a very nice looking fence, and very similar in style to what I have next to me in Bradbury's over on 420 Washington Street, similar on that the spike. So
Hopefully her
Megan.
contractor's not charging her for a couple extra feet.
Yeah,
Megan, thank you for all the attention you put into doing the COA. It's really helpful, so thank you.
yes, very well detailed, so.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for the approval. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
No,
You
no,
too.
we haven't approved it yet. We haven't voted.
Oh.
We just took the action. But don't get ahead of yourself here. All right. Any last nickels from our commission? Any discussion? Hearing none, I will go for a vote. Nancy, you're on.
Aye.
Nancy, aye. Greg Barlow? You're muted, but I saw.
Yeah, aye, but is Megan supposed to be here for the vote? I
She
don't know.
can. No,
Okay.
she'll.
Aye, yeah.
All right. Greg Johnson.
I,
Who am I missing? Greg, Jake,
Aye.
Dave,
Yes.
and Regan, are you there?
Regan. Aye.
All right, and I say aye. The COA 551 passes unanimously. Megan, there you are. So I will send an email to you and to the city building department and the clerk, and you'll be notified tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Megan.
Bye.
I will entertain a motion on COA 552. This is 10 Elm Street, Elm Avenue, excuse me, Bilbert, the owner. This is for the roof repair and the plywood, roof shingle and plywood.
I move to accept the application as presented.
Motion by Dane. Do I have a second?
second.
Second by Greg Johnson. All right, I'll open it up for discussion.
So I'm just gonna throw this out there. I have no problem with the COA, and if it's like with like, I certainly have no issue with making this move forward, but we're just talking about making sure it's like for like, and we're gonna approve this one without any pictures. So I'm just saying, whatever we decide, I think there needs to be some consistency. Again, I'm not the COA, I'm not saying I dispute it, but I think what we just talked about and what we're ready to accept are two different things. Just throwing that out there.
I don't know, Tim, maybe when you get these applications in, if it's not a complete package, you could go back to people and get the missing pieces. I mean, the second page of the new application has a whole checklist of things that are supposed to be accompanying the application.
Again, this is the new application here. We don't have a way of melding those two together. MIS didn't give us a kind of like a link for the HD for a what's the word I'm looking for? PDF file. Again, I know this has come up. I do try to do the due diligence of making sure we have enough information. I didn't, so I didn't deem the picture of the actual thing there as necessary, the actual shingles, I guess. But noted on that, I understand. Jake, I wasn't quite sure though, as you were saying, from the previous one to this one, what you were actually needing. I know some people provide pictures. But in this case, I'm not quite sure what you were referring to.
Yeah, what I was saying, Tim, was you were just saying the reason we have COAs is because some people say it's like for like, and we see it's not, or that it can or can't be seen from the road and we see it's the opposite. I'm just saying that without the pictures here, we can't tell if it's like for like. Again, I'm not against this, and if we're ready to move forward with it, I certainly wouldn't want to impede that from happening. I'm just saying, I think we need to establish a goal somewhere along the line about if we have a COA, it should have pictures. And if they're not requiring a COA, we just need to figure out a way to talk to the town about it. So
I understand. I
Yeah.
see what you now.
yeah,
And
that's all.
the only thing I would add there is maybe not a picture necessary, but if they had the materials, if they identified.
That's all I'm saying. Yep.
Gotcha. right. Further discussion? Hearing none, I will go for a vote. Nancy, you're up again.
Aye.
Aye. Greg Barlow? Hand up.
Aye.
I hear you. Greg Johnson.
Aye.
Jake?
Aye.
Dane?
Yes.
And Regan?
Aye.
And I vote aye. COA 552, 10 Elm Street, passes unanimously.
And
So,
it does say in the application, it does identify the type of sheet.
yeah, you're right. It's the certified, guaranteed,
Thank you.
certainty, excuse me. It's a tongue twister, certainty pewter wood. So, so we do know what that was again. So, Joanne, we will, I will do the paperwork. I will send that down to City Hall and hopefully Dora and we get to work with Marco.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So now we will go back to COA 550. This is 380 Washington Street, Booth Residence. This is for the wood trim and shingles. So I will entertain a motion on COA 550.
I move to accept it as presented.
Motion by Dane. Do I have a second? Two hands on the
Second.
wheel. Okay, second by Jake. All right. Do we have any discussion?
No, looks like it's definitely
don't
work
think-
that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all repair work, replacing that rotted wood.
Again, they're very, very good at providing a lot of detail here, and in this case, pictures. When I first read it, I was a little bit worried that it was the actual windows, but it really is just the trim that they're looking at in that siding. Right. Last Nichols. Hearing none, I'll go for a vote. Nancy,
Aye.
Greg Barlow,
Aye.
all right, Dane,
Yes.
Jake,
Aye.
Greg Johnson,
Aye.
and Regan,
Aye.
and I say aye. COA 550 passes unanimously. I will get paperwork done. Hopefully that'll finish up on, well, I know they have a lot of work to do on that, but they're doing good job getting that together, so it's excellent with that. All right, that gets us to COA 553. We're calling COA 553. This is 193 Broadway, the pool deck from Pereira, the resident, with pictures, paperwork, description, but not COA form. So I will entertain a motion.
Before we take a motion on that, could I just ask Tim, I mean, you keep saying, you mentioned a couple of times, administrative COA, is there any such thing? I mean, it seems to me that there's a COA or there's no COA.
All right, well, maybe I'm misspeaking.
Tim, if there's no application, we can't vote on this.
We're not gonna vote on,
We
All right.
can't vote on this if there's no application.
all right,
But really, should we be making this person think she should have an application if it can't be seen from a
I-
public way? It shouldn't even be before us anyway, right? She doesn't have to come before us to
Well,
vote
then
on
again-
anything.
then it gets down to, I guess, if she says it's not in a public way, do I have permission to go out and say, yeah, I agree with you, it's not in a public way, and I can have the executive right to say, you don't need a COA? And do I have the permission, I guess, from the commission to do that? If one of us, I'm not saying it's just me, but if one of us would be able to say, okay, this has been sent to the HDC mail. I did ask her to send in a COA just for this, not for the purposes of saying it was not necessary. But only because, again, in my mind, I was thinking, we're still going to bring this forward and prove it or not based on what's presented. We said, it's not visible, then we could just rubber stamp it. So I guess
Well-
what,
So how about, Tim, how about if I make a motion that we authorize you to tell them that it's COA is not needed in this case?
I almost think it should, I agree with where you're going, Greg, and I almost think this should be something where the chairman is allowed. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm literally coming with this exact same situation. I need a chimney repaired on the back of my house and you can't see it. So I asked Richard Revere to do the work and he's like, oh, the city's telling me you need a COA. It's like, I don't need a COA. You can't see it from the street. So I kind of have a vested interest in this. And I think we should have a procedure if something's not visible, that as the commission, we can do something like this.
Yeah, but the other thing is there should not be an implication that if it's not visible from a public way, that anybody has to come before us to even do this little process about authorizing the chairman to view it and tell them it's not needed. They don't need to come. So we would never
Right.
know about it and we wouldn't do anything. We don't want to imply they have to come to us just because they're in the district. Right?
I agree with you, Nancy, but I think the problem is that the building department is not up to date on the rules of the HDC. They don't seem to ever be up to date with
Okay.
with what's going on, and that's just my personal feelings on the matter. But I think that I think we should definitely vest the power in the chairman or whoever it be to be able
Yeah.
to issue a letter or an email saying that because this is not within the public view, then you don't need a COA, and that can just be what's presented to the building department.
all right.
I would
I-
agree.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's probably better that the building department is conservative than if they didn't block things, because that happened a lot in the past where the building department wouldn't refer people to the HDC when they should have. So it's probably better that
I'm-
they're more conservative.
I'm not saying I disagree with due diligence, but in this case, they're hampering and hindering the homeowner.
Yeah, but I totally agree that we should just empower the chair to be able to say,
Yeah.
hey, COA is not needed, so.
Okay, and I think that was the motion that you put out, Greg.
Yes,
So, hearing that motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Nancy seconds that, and so the only other discussion I'll say is then this is good because in my mind, we ran into this with the splits behind the church. It's not visible, and I went and took a picture and said, well, I can see where the splits are gonna be. They moved it. So as long as I like this of following on through the building department being more conservative and having one of us, me or whoever, if I can't make it, if I ask any of you to go out and verify this, then at least we can verify that isn't visible and then pass on that verdict, I guess, executive decision verdict to the building department and let things proceed. That's what we see. And if I went in and said, yeah, you say it's not visible, it is visible, please get a COA in, and we're not going to accept that. So I think we cover both bases for that. So
I think the trust but verify is a smart move.
like those words. So Trust but verify. And so in this case, well, depending on our vote here, and I think I know how it's going, do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm gonna go for a vote. Greg Johnson,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Barlow,
Aye.
Dane,
Yes.
Egan, two hands on the wheel.
Aye.
All right, and I vote aye. The motion passes. I don't know if that would be under necessarily actions on COA, but it's our process here now is to trust but verify on any things that pass to us. And in this case here, in what we're calling, I'm going to put it in quotes, COA 553, I will again go through, check in case I didn't see everything. I will verify this and provide an okay if this is truly not needed as a COA and pass the information on for 193 Broadway to the city department. Everyone nods yes. Okay, so we're good. All righty. I actually wasn't sure if the special meeting was only for special things, but Catherine sent a complete meeting
Yeah.
there.
Whatever's on here has.
So we have to go with that. So since Catherine put on the approval of the regular meeting minutes from April 17th, I'm going to entertain a motion.
Oh,
Everyone's furiously reading them
I'll move to accept the minutes as presented.
and written as presented. I guess as presented. Sounds good. Greg Johnson has a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Dane. Are there any last minute modifications? Hearing none. Dane? Vote.
Yes.
Greg J.
I'm gonna abstain. Wasn't
Oh,
sure.
you weren't here.
Yeah.
Okay. And Greg Barlow was not here. Okay, Dane, you weren't here either, but I thought we said that we could vote on it even if we were absent. So I'm still letting you abstain, Greg Johnson. Dane, your vote is count. Greg Barlow? You weren't present last. You're on. You're on mute. Lips moving. There you go. No, still mute.
Okay. All right, now I'm going. Okay. It takes me a while more. No, I pass on this one.
All right, abstain from Greg.
Abstain.
And Jake,
I was here, so I'm gonna say yay.
Nancy,
I was here. Aye.
Regan,
Aye.
and I say aye. The meeting minutes pass, 2 abstentions.
Can I change my vote? I thought I was here. I apologize.
It says, no, it says you weren't, but I can't remember what's on. All right. No, but we did say, even if you weren't here, you were able to vote on that. So I'm still going to count your vote.
I don't think we usually do that.
No? I thought,
No.
all right.
How
I
can
make
you
a-
approve minutes you weren't even here for, to hear
Right.
anything?
Because they're typed and written so well that they have no issue with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that
But-
doesn't make any sense.
All
Yeah, I
right,
know.
so they made, so in that case, I make an executive decision. Dane, you're in voter suppression. I'm by Nancy. I'm taking away. Oh,
Voter suppression.
That's
Get
fine.
water.
I do apologize
Give you
again.
water. Wine.
thing. I'm sorry, what are you saying?
No,
Ah.
I just said I apologize. I'm fine with that. I had thought I was here, but I was not. So I cannot. I shouldn't vote for minutes at a meeting I was not present at. So
All right. No.
The departments have a problem.
Yeah,
I.
in my mind, yes. I know Regan probably told you all about it, and that's why it was so fresh in your mind. That was it.
that's a good possibility.
All right, that brings us to chairman's report. And again, it's on here. I don't have anything other than,
Uh-huh.
sorry, go ahead. Nancy?
Sorry. No, nothing. Sorry.
All right, so the chairman's report, the only thing I have is another email, I believe, came in. Someone was looking for an old COA. Apparently, some work was done on the building. They weren't looking for a COA, they were looking for when it may have been approved a couple of years back. And I have to go through our history and see if I can find an electronic copy of whatever it was. I think, again, it's a question from the building department, or I'm not even sure. It was a very confusing email. So that's the only thing I think I have on my report. We're all up to speed on, I haven't heard anything on budgets, but we saved $108.17 on our legal notice by the special meeting here. So, because in this case, Greg Johnson was talking about that. There were rules, but apparently we have to let them know 48 hours. 48 hours
24
for
for
a
a special meeting,
for special meeting. All right.
48 for regular.
48 for regular, 24 for special, but I did not have to put in a legal notice for the special meeting, but they did put it up. Thank goodness for Joanne on the city website. So, and again, from my report, I will go back and double check that. I thought I saw all the emails go out to the applicants, and so find out what happened on that one. But luckily, everyone was here and we were able to conduct our business. So,
Hey, Tim, along those lines, what was so rushed that we needed the special meeting? None of those COAs seemed like they were articulating that they needed to do the work right now.
well, they didn't say it, but I did get in the other one for the privacy fence. It was a contractor issue coming up. It would have been before our next June 19th meeting. So, and the fact that I think when we canceled our, whatever it was in May meeting, because we wouldn't have quorum at that time, we did say if anything comes in, we would see if it needed addressing. This one was a contractor issue. The Pereira one, where again, we were saying it wasn't needed, was I think a time sensitive one. And Joanne, through backdoor channels and whatever, again, I was getting things from her on my personal email and was sending it back and forth, but it didn't really mention anything about the COA. It was just some communication. So I didn't realize that her inquiries were based on that, but apparently she had been trying for a month or so to get this work done. So that's where I said, okay, we'll try to be as timely as we can, attentive as we can to some of these. So if anything, that will probably leave us less to do in June. But I'm not going to cross my fingers or promise that. see all these things come in. But actually, what are we, we're at 28th? Our closing for accepting COAs would then be the close of business on the 12th, I believe. The 11th.
So Tim, if the meeting is June 19th, June 19th is like a new holiday kind of thing for, I think the state has it. I don't know if the town does, if they would close that building you're in.
You're
I
talking
don't know
about
if they,
marijuana, some marijuana thing going on June.
no, June 19th is that,
Juneteenth.
I don't know, something to do with the slaves realized
Yeah,
they were free
Juneteenth,
in
yeah.
Texas or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's June.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a federal holiday.
Marijuana.
I don't, is
I'm
it
not-
federal?
it's
I
federal,
guess
but
it's
It's a
state. I
federal
know
thing.
it's a
It's not
state because they
not
take
a city
everything.
one. Yeah, but we're
I
saying
don't know if
here,
it's federal.
Federal.
Recognized holiday.
not a city recognized holiday according to our recording
Okay.
secretary.
All right.
And I thought that one was it Oklahoma or it was Oklahoma and Texas? I don't know who was.
Texas.
at, but did
Texas.
Biden, I know Biden was trying to put something in. But at any rate, right now, it's not, so we'll continue on this.
Okay.
So, but we'll discuss whether that's a hybrid or regular meeting here then. But I still don't have anything, nothing else in old business. Does anyone have any new business? Hearing none, then regular meeting. We think unless we know how now we can quickly do a special meeting. It's just very difficult when you're sitting in Aruba trying to get all this stuff done. So so Greg Johnson, yes, halfway through trying to set up this special meeting, I was on your side thinking I was Regan is signing off. I was agreeing with you. I think, hey, why are we going through all this rigmarole? But we did, and at least now we have the experience. So our next meeting, everyone okay with a hybrid meeting?
What date?
This would still be June 19th, Wednesday, back at 5:30 in our regular, well, I'll be in the regular conference room. It's
What time?
5:30.
Good deal.
Everyone okay with a hybrid?
Yeah.
By hybrid, you mean in the building and by Zoom or
And
by
by Zoom.
remote?
The way we're doing now.
What we're doing
Yes.
now,
Yes,
Uh,
sure.
whatever more convenient. Excellent.
Yep.
All right.
That's
So,
fine.
so our next meeting, June 19th, will be a hybrid meeting.
Okay.
I will toss it out for any last nickels. Again, I like those nickels.
Tim,
Nope.
I have a nickel just for you. Would you be willing to stop by my house for like 2 seconds when you get home?
Sure.
Bring a nickel.
Thank you.
And bring what?
Bring a nickel with.
Bring a nickel. No, his nickel that has to come to me. All
I'll
right,
give
Okay.
you a nickel.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, I need someone to make the motion.
So moved.
Oh,
Jake is making the motion
yes, I make the motion to adjourn.
and second
I'll second it then.
by, I'm not sure, I think that was Greg,
Bye, Gary.
by Gary. That, I couldn't come up with our pseudonym. Okay. Second by Greg, Jay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it
Well, we won't have our meeting.
at 7:01.